My grandparents bought the first home at 17. Same age I worked at a haunted house in 713. Spent October scared strangers, scared to pick a major. So stressed and don't know what I need. 'Cause any minute now I'ma figure out what I gotta know, what it's all about. And ever since I was a kid, I wonder when the moment is that life would just make sense to me somehow. Any minute now, any minute now. How cruel a joke that we exist and never know what the punchline is. I can take a photograph to hold on to the past. I just want 'em out before I leave. Any minute now. Any minute now, I'ma figure out what I gotta know, what it's all about. And ever since I was a kid, I wonder when the moment is that life would just make sense to me somehow. Any minute now, any minute now, any minute now, any minute
That was Any Minute Now by Water Parks, and you're tuned into KZOW 91.9 Active Radio. And today we're going to be talking about a theater play that's going to be happening this week. And lucky enough, we have one of the actors joining us today. We got Jackson.
Hello, I'm Jackson. I'm play the character of Daisy in the show Baby with the Bathwater of Waldorf Theater. So thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So tell us what the theater, the show's about.
So Baby with the Bathwater is a dark comedy all about two parents who were, quite frankly, not ready to be parents. It's got a whole bunch of antics that goes on, and it takes place over the life of their child. So we start with this child as a baby, and we spend a decent amount of time there with the parents struggling and failing to raise this child well. And then eventually we move forward into the child's life, and we see this child as an adult, and we see how they have to be different and to grow even though they had these awful, awful parents. So it's really interesting. It is a comedy. There are lots of jokes. It is very much something that you're going to laugh at, but it also has this very strong sense of drama and emotion that kind of drives the whole thing. So it's a very complicated show, but I really like it. I think a lot of people would get a lot from it. They would enjoy it. They would find it funny, and it would give them something to think about. And I think that's interesting.
And you play the baby, correct?
Yes, I play the baby with the bathwater, the very one. So I'm not in most of the show. I don't come in until the end, or not the end. It's about 2/3 of the way into the show that I officially come in because, we spend a lot of time in the baby's childhood, and I'm not going to literally curl up into a baby and go into a crib.
How long did it take you guys to prepare for it?
We've been preparing since the first week of school. The very first week that we got back. We held auditions back in I think November. It was end of October, beginning of November is when we held auditions roughly. And so we had time to prepare, and look at the script over break. And then as soon as we got back, first day we were back, that Wednesday night we started rehearsal. So we've been rehearsing for 6 weeks now, I think.
Were you expected to have your lines memorized over break?
No, we weren't, but we were expected to have our lines memorized by the second week of rehearsal. So that was a little rough, but we got there. It's definitely one of the tightest line turnarounds I've ever had. It makes sense because it's a tight turnaround for the rehearsal schedule as well, but it worked out.
If you had to compare it to any other show or movie, what would be a good comparison?
That's an interesting question. Maybe come back to me on that one. I'm gonna let that one simmer a little bit.
How did you land the part of the main character?
I wouldn't call the child the main character, even though I guess in the story they're the main character, but I think the most important character is probably the mother and the father. Specifically the mother, because the mother is in like on stage more often than the father.
Yeah.
But the show does center around the part of the child, and I would say that the reason I got that part was because, and I can't speak for the director, but I think on some level I connected with the sincerity of the character. Like, this is a dark comedy. It's insane. There's like, these characters are doing absolutely insane things, saying the most random and wild things you'd ever hear. Like, it is completely unpredictable. Like, things just happen. But this character is one of the only consistently sincere characters in the show. And I think I connected with that in the audition process. And I think that's what I would say drew me to the character. And again, I can't speak for the director, but that's what I connect with most about this character.
How many roles would you say are in the whole, like?
In the whole show, we only have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. We only have 5 actors. No, it's 6. We have 6 actors in the actual show, and there are more than 6 characters, but there are a couple characters which are double played by certain people. Like, there are one actress in the show, Kaylin Markson, is playing 3 characters. She plays a character in the first half of the show, then she plays a character in a scene at a park, and then she plays a character in a scene at a school. So there are more than 6 roles, but we only have 6 actors. Let me make sure I'm counting right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's 6.
6.
So yeah, we have six actors, but more than 6 parts. I think I'm not going to do the quick math, but
Would you say that this is more of a physical acting show or more of a mental image?
I think it's got a lot of both. For me, it's more of a mental show. Because I have a scene where I am, without spoiling too much, because there is some element of surprise that the show requires to be enjoyed on the first time. But without saying too much, there is a scene where I am on stage alone. There's no other actors on stage, and I have to just do a lot of talking and a lot of thinking and a lot of pretending. And that takes a lot of like mental work. But there's also a lot of physical comedy in this show. Like, there are bits involving a baby, obviously, because you have this physical prop of the baby. We do not use a real baby, by the way, for anyone who's concerned. We have a prop baby, and that creates a lot of physical comedy and a lot of big moments that like play and are physical. But then there is also like it's the same. It's almost the same as the show itself, where the show is very big and very crazy, but has this emotion. The performance is very physical, very comedic, but also has this like introspectiveness at times. So I don't think it's been said yet, but I want to let everyone who's listening know that the show is going on this week, Wednesday through Saturday, in the Smith Theater at 7:30 p.m. You can get your tickets at the Waldorf box office, which is just next to the Smith Theater, right across from the crossing. You can't miss it. Waldorf students can, at this point, I believe we have run out of free tickets for Waldorf students as of a couple hours ago, but Waldorf students can still get a discounted price of $5 per ticket. It's really nice. And then general admission is $15 per ticket for anyone who is not Waldorf student. So again, this Wednesday through Saturday, Smith Theater at 7:30. You can get your tickets from the box office.
Luckily for me, I was one of the first ones, and I got my free ticket.
Hey,
Nice
there you
job.
go.
Good job. It'll be worth it. I hope it will be worth it. I believe it will be worth it.
What made you go into acting, like, out of, anything? Probably?
Well, I've been in theater for a long time. I was involved in theater in high school. It's just been something I've been doing for a decent amount of my life. So when I got to Waldorf, it just felt like a natural thing. I'm not a theater major. I'm not studying theater or like I am not taking. It is not. I'm a communications person. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
But I was drawn to acting at Waldorf because it was just something that I've always done.
Yeah.
And it's something that has always been a good creative outlet, because like communications is a very creative major. Like, you have to do a lot of work creatively. You have to make things. Like, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I said right.
Yeah. And so it's been an outlet for me for a long time to kind of go into acting and just to flex that creative muscle in the brain. And it's also just fun. Like, it genuinely is that I just enjoy it. And it's something I hope to be involved in. Like, I don't think it is something I will do professionally, but like, I would love to, like, community theater is a thing in most cities in America. I would like to be involved in that if I can. So it's just it's mainly because it's fun, and it's also because it's just been a community I've been part of for a lot of my life now.
And to follow up on that, what kind of roles do you prefer, like to do, like more comedy or more serious?
I think every actor likes dramatic roles more because I'm not necessarily every actor, but a lot of actors, because like it's the trend of you see like in movies like the comedic movie star, like you'll see like a Jim Carrey or like a Steve Carell. They'll be doing all these comedic movies and then they transition to dramatic because they want to do dramatic movies.
Very true.
So I think I in the end prefer a dramatic role because it feels. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels more emotionally intense and it's more difficult. And that's honestly why I enjoy it. But also, I have done more comedy in my life and it's just so fun. It's so fun. I think I'd realistically say that comedy is something that I do more of and I'm involved more of. But I love drama. And that's kind of why I like this show, because it's a lot of both. Like there is what we've been told by our director is that this is a comedic show. It is very much a dark comedy. But to make it work, the characters have to play it straight. You're not seeking laughs from the audience. You are entirely like dead. Like your characters are dead serious and everything they say and they do. But then that's why it's funny, because it's just so absurd. It's so wild. And I think that's why I like this show. It's a mix of both drama and comedy, and I like that.
Yeah, some of my favorite comedians are exactly like that. They're dead serious the whole time, and they don't laugh at their own jokes.
Yes.
I mean, you like comedians that laugh, but like at the same time.
Yeah, like there's like the SNL style where like they're breaking character all the time, but then also like playing it straight, it works really well.
100%.
If you I know you said you wouldn't see yourself like take acting like professionally, but like what if the right opportunity came on? Could you see yourself like?
If I were given an opportunity, I would. I don't anticipate that happening, but I would love it if it could happen. It's not something I would turn down if given the opportunity, because I do genuinely very much enjoy this. I do think it is an incredible creative outlet and an incredible opportunity. So if that were something that could happen for me, like if I could go from doing Baby with the Bathwater at Waldorf and this could lead me to more things, could develop more connections with the people who do this professionally, I would absolutely take that opportunity. Because it is like these types of things are how you build the connections and you build the skill set to do it professionally.
Of course.
So obviously you act in theater and everything like that. Would you ever consider acting in movies or anything like that?
Absolutely, because especially being a comm person like that, I mean, I'm around it. It's like everyone needs to film something for communications at some point.
Right.
Everyone's got stuff. So like obviously I'd like want to be involved in those things. But like if because of that I would get an opportunity, yeah, of course I would take it. It would be like, as a communications person, I will probably be around those circles vaguely when I'm actually doing professional stuff out there, because I don't really like know exactly what I'm going to do when I graduate. I'm equipping myself with equipping myself with a skill set to just improvise. So if I end up around the right circles, I would absolutely do that. Well, I hate to disappoint on one thing. I really cannot think of a good comparison with this show. Like it is
One of a kind.
It's one of a kind. It is so unique in what it does, and this blend of drama and like comedy isn't something that I feel you really see
Is it
a
like,
lot
kinda like
anymore.
South Park?
At times, I wouldn't say the whole time, because South Park does tend towards comedy, and I do think at a lot of times this show will tend towards drama, but there are times. I think that is not a bad comparison at all. Because it does have some, and especially in like there are like a decent amount of like references. This show likes to reference pop culture, so there are times when it's like, oh yeah, I know that thing. So there is a little. It's got a little bit of South Park in its DNA.
When does this show take place?
It takes place. It was written in the 80s, and so that means that the beginning of the show takes place in the 60s, because these parents had their child in the 60s, and then by the time the child is an adult, it is like the late 80s-ish. The time is a little vague, but it is that general 60s to 80s time period.
So are all the pop culture references from that time period, or are they more modern?
They're from like that period is when they are. Luckily, the 80s is a very, very like the 80s has become very cemented in our pop culture. So they're not obscure references, but they are there, and it's a lot. of that. Yeah.
I remember you saying that there's people play multiple characters. Do you play multiple characters?
No, I do not. I play the part of Daisy consistently the whole time.
Oh, okay.
If you could tell somebody who is just starting to go into acting, into the theater department, and they just some advice, what would you give them?
I would say instinctively, it is just like, I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase this. It's like my brain immediately went to don't be nervous, but that's not good advice.
Right.
It's just like really accept on some level that you are going to be doing like on some level you are going to look at yourself at some point while you're acting. You're going to think, this is stupid. What I'm doing is stupid. Even if you're doing a very dramatic role, like even if you're doing something that is entirely serious, you are going to look at yourself eventually and you're going to think, what am I doing? So on some level, I'd say the advice is you have to not take yourself too seriously. Even in a dramatic role, you have to have fun with it, because if you get too sucked up into being all stiff and all like, I'm very professional, I am an actor, then you're just not gonna get anything. You need to have fun with it. You need to not take yourself too seriously. So that's the advice I would say: is let yourself get comfortable. Let yourself not take anything seriously. Get to know the people around you. Get to know the cast, because that'll help you feel more comfortable. That'll help you be like, I don't need to take myself seriously all the time.
That being said, is there any room in this show for improvisation?
Definitely. See,
Yeah.
like, and there are times when it has happened during rehearsals, when it's like random new bits of physical comedy. Like at one point there was a bit where someone has to like shush somebody, and it eventually developed that is like, this wasn't instructed by the director, it was just like, I'm gonna like cover, you guys can't see this because it's audio, but it's like, I'm gonna cover their mouth physically with my hand instead of just shushing them, because that's funnier. Like a lot of what happens in this show develops organically. There are gonna be bits that happen every night that will not be the same from night to night. I'm not sure how much improvisation will happen dialogue-wise, but I can know that physicality, like we were talking about the physicality of the show earlier, there will definitely be differences between each night, definitely little improvised bits, and that is very, like, I think that's something entertaining about this show.
So let's say if I had the money to do this, right? You can act in any 5 movies.
Ooh.
What would you pick?
Ooh, like movies that already exist?
Movies or shows? Yeah,
Movies or
already
shows?
exist, yeah.
Okay. Let me hold on. Let me pull out my phone real quick. I need to look down. I need to look through some lists. Let me see. That's
me
a
personally,
good
I'm not gonna
question.
lie. I'd want to be like in Game of Thrones or something.
See,
That'd
that's
be- that'd be
fair.
fun.
Like a big show like that would be something that I would like. Game of Thrones isn't a bad pull. It depends on what I do though, because I don't want to do anything like.
It can be animated too, so like you can be like a little voice actor, so like on Family Guy or something.
I don't want to do anything heinous, so I don't want to be in. I'll be in Game of Thrones if they don't make me do anything heinous. If they don't make me like do some diabolical stuff.
Yeah.
Because the writing on that show is great. It just gets a little gross. Probably a superhero movie. I'd love to be in like a Spider-Man or movie would be incredible. Like not even like as like a Spider-Man, just like to be in one of those movies, because those projects are just fun. That's something I would say.
What about like The Office?
That
Like
would be good.
style of
Any
comedy.
kind of a comedy like that would be fun, especially because they go on for so long,
Right.
and they have a lot of room for variation. I like the kind of interview sitcom. I don't know what the name of that genre is. Something
kinda
like
feel
like a The Office.
I feel like if it was to be a show, it'd be like some superhero, like The Flash or
Yeah.
like Arrow.
One of
like,
those would be good.
Could be comedy.
Like a CW show.
Exactly.
I'd be on one of
about
those.
you,
That'd be
Bruce?
fun.
What would I do? It'd have to be like I think it's documentary style, like
Yeah.
comedy. It's kind of like what that is, where they interview you on the side, like Modern Family or The Office,
Oh, yeah, I know
or
what you're talking
like
about, yeah.
that kind of thing where they cut away and everything like that. Modern Family
Yeah.
doesn't really say as much that it's like a documentary,
Yeah.
but then you've got The Office that it's literally a documentary.
See, I think the type of stuff that goes on in the comm department, you could make a really good sitcom about this comm department.
100%.
Like so many conversations in
Oh
the
my
comm
gosh.
lab are like really like sitcomable. Like you
Yeah.
could do some very funny stuff with that, and then you cut away. This is someone's senior thesis project, so someone write that down. That'll be a great idea for someone one day.
Yes.
Literally, all you have to do is just record what goes on in the comm lab. I mean, obviously you have to get everyone's consent, but like you record it, do a little cutaway interviews. I feel like that is a
I feel like
good
everybody
idea.
would be down. I don't think I know a single person that would turn that down.
Would you guys? I mean, like theoretically, I don't see this actually happening.
down, honestly.
But
That'd be fun.
see, yeah.
It would.
it would be fun. I think everybody would want to be involved.
I
It
think
would be
Like,
great.
like the teacher's POV.
Yeah, right.
That'd be
Yeah.
funny. That'd be really funny.
I think most people should need to be a fly on the wall in the comm lab sometimes, because some of the things that people get up to in there is just
Just
absolutely
go sit on the couch if you
hilarious.
to any Waldorf students listening who have any connections with any comm people, just go sit in the couch in the comm lab at
just
some
come
point.
sit. It's welcome for everybody. You're
It's really
allowed to let
comfy
in.
too.
It's so
It's a comfy couch, and
It's
you'll
an
be
old
entertained.
couch, but it's a comfy couch.
Oldie but a goodie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you, Jackson, for coming out.
Of course. Thank you so
taking
much
the
for
interview.
having me. I really appreciate it. Make sure to come check out the show this Wednesday through Saturday at 7:30 in the Smith Theater.
That's right. And next up, we have Not Nice by Party Next Door.